This is Michael Popok, Legal AF. We've got a big case that's starting today in federal court in Austin, Texas. It's the Trump train versus the Biden bus. If you remember back in 2020, before the election, at the urging of Donald Trump and people around him, including Don Jr., supporters and MAGA around Donald Trump decided to attack on open highways Biden caravans or people carrying supporters of Joe Biden on the way to rallies and other events, in this case, near Austin, Texas. Encouraged again, fomented again by Donald Trump. Well, the case goes to trial in front of Judge Pittman, federal judge, but with a federal jury in Austin, Texas. The case's name is Cervinas versus Cisneros, and the plaintiffs, which include Wendy Davis, former Texas state Democratic senator, she famous for having given over a 13-hour filibuster speech in 2013 to stop an anti-abortion piece of legislation in Texas. She was on board that bus. There were even rumors started by Don Jr., and we'll put those up on the screen here, that Kamala Harris, who is the Democratic nominee and likely president of the United States, was on board one of these buses. And what happened is 40 cars and SUVs and a caravan swarmed this Biden bus, driving recklessly, dangerously, even in Mr. Cisneros' case, the main defendant slamming and ramming his SUV into the Biden-Harris bus, with the rest of the 40 waving, making arm gestures. Now, that video was liked, retweeted, if you like, by Donald Trump and those around him in his campaign. Thought it was a grand old time to watch other patriots and Americans trying to exercise their First Amendment right to participate in a political rally for the candidate of their choice to almost be driven off the road and killed. How many times have we heard about overturned buses on our interstate highways caused by accidents and the death toll that results? But to Donald Trump, he doesn't care how many people died on Capitol Hill on Jan 6th. He ignores that anybody died on Capitol Hill on Jan 6th or was injured. Same thing here. You've got MAGA promoting it, Trump supporting it, those around him supporting it and laughing about it. And it was no laughing matter for the people inside that bus. And they have sued under the KKK Act, which is a body of law that came out of our Reconstruction period, just after the Civil War, when a whole lot of laws and amendments to the Constitution got enacted to protect people who were the target of being disenfranchised, mainly and originally Black Americans, newly freed slaves. Now it applies to anybody. The KKK Act is being used against Donald Trump, particularly in another case in the District of Columbia, presided over by Judge Mehta, brought by the Metropolitan Police officers and Capitol Police officers who were injured and almost killed and or committed suicide and or died as a result of Donald Trump's actions and those of the other insurrectionists on Jan 6th. They're being sued under the KKK Act. I mean, it's something that I'm sure I studied it for a minute in law school, and I've done civil rights cases, and I've never used the KKK Act, but look how many times against Donald Trump it seems to be a fitting civil case, civil body of law to sue for damages. Now, when the people in the MAGA caravan, the Trump train, urged on by Donald Trump, their main argument to the judge to try to get the case dismissed before trial was, we have First Amendment. We're just doing political speech. This is our First Amendment speech. And the judge took one look at the allegations in the complaint and said, what you're being alleged to have done, a competent jury, a reasonable jury could find that you went well beyond First Amendment expression into intimidation, reckless conduct in order to intimidate and attack and potentially kill people in the opposite party than the one you're in. And that's enough under the elements of the KKK Act for the case to go forward to a jury. Now, it's in Texas, but I'll tell you that Judge Pittman has been on the right side of a number of decisions. Austin is one of the small blue dots in Texas. And so I expected a jury that's selected there, and this will come down to the type of jury, fair and impartial jury that's selected, will will lean more center and center left when they're selected, which I think is a good thing for the plaintiffs in the case. But what I like about the report here, and what I'm doing here to talk about it on Legal AF and on this hot take, is that the civil justice system, the criminal justice system, 4 years on, is holding people accountable, including Donald Trump, as it puts the screws to these people because they committed crimes or violations of civil rights or the KKK Act, and they should be held responsible. I don't want to live in a constitutional republic or a society where we just rip up the social contract and act like things didn't happen and just turn our back. Or as some Republican and MAGA politicians have said, it would be better for the healing process if we just pardoned Donald Trump and those around him rather than go after him again and re-indict him. We would heal faster. I don't believe that. I believe if you don't use the civil justice system and criminal justice system to its natural lengths, and you ignore bad conduct, criminal conduct, and the like, it's just a license and an invitation to anarchy. And it'll make the next Donald Trump or this Donald Trump worse than the last one, because this is the blueprint that they're following. They tried to knock over the guardrails around our democracy. They dented them. They bruised them. They didn't knock them over completely. But we're left we're left weakened as a country as a result of their misconduct. And so the civil justice system and criminal justice system, which is a bedrock and a bedrock of our constitutional republic, must hold these people accountable, and the judges and the juries around them. I believe in the jury system. The law firm, my Legal AF podcasting and hot take work, and a new baby to raise with my wife, I've hit the apex of my stress level, leading me to feel drained at times and run down. But I would never use any type of stimulant that would interfere with my heart-healthy routine. Super Beets Heart Chews offer a convenient, delicious plant-based way to support healthy blood pressure and circulation. Enjoy a heart-healthy boost without the jitters. Paired with a healthy lifestyle, the unique antioxidant compound in Super Beets is clinically shown to be nearly 2 times more effective at promoting normal blood pressure than a healthy lifestyle alone. I love Super Beets Heart Chews because it has boosted my energy level and made me feel like I am focused on a heart-healthy lifestyle, so I don't let those important to me, including my audience, down. And it's so simple. I just put the individually wrapped heart chews in my little sandwich bag along with my other vitamins and take them as soon as I step into my daily commute. It's the only heart chew I've ever used, and that says it all. Support healthy circulation from a plant-based chew without stimulants and no artificial sweeteners or colors. In fact, more doctors, pharmacists, and cardiologists recommend Super Beets for heart health support than any other beet brand. Double your potential with Super Beets Heart Chews. Get a free 30-day supply of Super Beets Heart Chews on all bundles and 15% off your first order by going to getsuperbeets.com and using code LEGALAF. That's getsuperbeets.com. Code LEGALAF. I know why Donald Trump doesn't like the jury system, because he's, I think I did the math, he's 0-51 with jurors, right? He's had unanimous jurors in every case, criminal and civil, against him, rule against him. You just do the math as this federal jury starts. 9-0, E. Jean Carroll, first case, sexual assault, defamation, and punitive damages. 9-0, E. Jean Carroll, second case, punitive damages, again, for the sexual attack on E. Jean Carroll by Donald Trump. 12-0, a criminal case against Donald Trump's organization and his main entities for tax fraud and business record fraud. 12-0 in the 34-count felony conviction against Donald Trump for the Stormy Daniels hush money cover-up affair and the like. You see where this is going? And I haven't even added in the vast majority of grand jurors, 5 of them now, who have indicted Donald Trump, and more to come. Donald Trump also went 0-70. I think he had a half a win in Pennsylvania in the election interference cases that were brought by Rudy Giuliani and Sidney Powell and Ken Chesebro and the rest of the lawyers they hired, MAGA lawyers they hired around the country. Every one of those lost. Donald Trump is a loser. I mean, there's no other way to put it. He's a 4-time bankrupt huckster, carnival huckster, P.T. Barnum of his day. There's a sucker voter born every minute, and he's banking on it. That's it. And so this trial, even though Donald Trump isn't in trial, Donald Trump is on trial. MAGA is on trial. The family is on trial. Their misconduct and bad behavior. They're trying to rip up the social contract. They're trying to say it's okay to set each other at each other's throats, seething, right? They're just playing into the hands of the Russians, the Indians, the Chinese, who are trying through social media to put America at America's throats, each other, in order to destabilize and weaken our country, to make them stronger. That's why they do it. That's why there's so much misinformation and disinformation out there. And who do you have taking it hook, line, and sinker and retweeting it and doing it on podcasts? MAGA right-wing podcasters taking money from the Russians and then claiming that they're the victim, like Tenet Media. I mean, all they've done is they believe that America should fight with other Americans and that we should be at each other's throats, that it should be red versus blue instead of red, white, and blue, that patriotism, they have some sort of monopoly on patriotism or on baseball caps or hunting caps or camouflage or whatever the heck it is. And they don't. This trial will follow it. I'm going to come back and talk about jury selection. I'm going to talk about opening statements. I'm going to follow this case all the way through because it's important. The case of the Biden bus versus the Trump train and what that means. And as a warning to other people out there that are thinking about doing a similar thing this election season to Kamala Harris again, be warned. Even the police department in San Marcos in Texas were sued and had to settle a case because their officers, in a disgusting display, in violating their prime directive to protect and serve, refused to intervene in the Trump train attack on the Biden bus. And they had to settle, and those officers all got admonished, and they had to apologize as a result. That's where we are. We're going to follow it all. The intersection of what? Law and politics. Find out what 40 million people already know. That Legal AF is the home of the crossroads of law and politics analysis and commentary. And we do it like no other place on the YouTube dial. None. Join us on Wednesdays and Saturdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, where you can watch us live record the podcast. And you can participate with the hosts in live chat. It's me and Karen Friedman Ignifilo, Wednesdays. Ben Meiselas and me on Saturdays, and then I do hot takes like this about every hour at that same intersection. If you like audio podcasts, you're old school, you're OG like me, go look for that album cover, Legal AF, and download it. Listen to it. Come back to us week after week. We appreciate you. Can't even tell you. Can't even put into words how much we appreciate our audience, their loyalty, their devotion, and their commitment to the cause. Till my next hot take. Till my next Legal AF, this is Michael Popok reporting. Heary, heary, Legal AF Law Breakdown is now in session. Go beyond the headlines and get a deep dive into the important legal concepts you need to know and we discuss every day on Legal AF. Exclusive content you won't find anywhere else, all for the price of a couple of cups of coffee. Join us at patreon.com/legalaf. That's patreon.com/legalaf.